Well, hello everybody, and welcome to um, Mega Boss News. And so we're going to talk about this day today. It has been a long time coming. We have a lot that has been taking place, and so I think it is important for us to look at the possibilities and all the things that actually could take place. And so as a result, I think that it's important for all of us to have this conversation. Before we do that, we want to give everyone time to be able to share and let people know that we are online. Also, I do know that there are people at the polls, and I thank God that they are, because everyone should be at the polls right now voting if you have not already voted. And voted early, like I did. And so um, let's make sure that we put up the different ways that you can connect with us. And so there are five ways that you can connect with us, and that is Facebook at Dr. Kevin A. Williams, and then you can go to Instagram at Dr. Kevin A. Williams official. You can go to X at Dr. KAW official. You can go to um, Lord have mercy, Mega Boss News, where you can email us at megabossnews at megabossnews777 at gmail.com. And then you can go to YouTube at Kevin A. Williams 777. And these are the five ways that you're able to connect with us. In addition to that, we ask that not only do you connect, but also that you like and share all of the things that we are doing so that people can stay connected and stay in tune to the things that we're doing. I'm going to be on for an hour, but I may even come back in at a later time because we have so much to share, so much to share. So, all right, there are four ways that you're able to give: Cash App, $ Dr. Kevin A. Williams, Zelle, Dr. Kevin A. Williams at gmail.com, PayPal at paypal.me/ Dr. Kevin A. Williams. And then you can mail it at 1822 Short Road, Greensboro, North Carolina, 27406, and in care of Dr. Kevin A. Williams. These are the four ways that you're able to give. We're asking that if you would, anyone that is able to give a gift of $7. I'm not going to say it's a large gift. I'm not going to say it's a small gift. I'm just going to say it's a gift. And if you can, if you can't do that and you can do something, then do whatever the Lord leads you to do. All right. And if He leads you to do more, do that. If He leads you to do less, do that. If you're not led to do anything, that is okay too. All right. So I want to take a moment and talk. We have about an hour of conversation, I think, that is extremely important for each and every one of us, and that is dealing with the state of our nation and what is happening within our nation. There are challenges that whoever the next president is going to experience from so many different angles. Let's look at one of the first challenges that this next president is going to have to deal with, regardless of who they are. And that is that particular president is going to have the responsibility and the job of uniting our country so that our country is no longer divided. It is a major responsibility for the next president to make sure that our country is united and not divided. We are called the United States, but we are very much the divided states because of so many people's views when it comes to their perspective concerning race, concerning politics, concerning economy, concerning um, the price of almost anything and everything. And so we have to figure out then which direction is our country going. Today is going to decide a great deal because what it is going to tell us is what has been most important to people in the country. And so each candidate has run a campaign based on their convictions, their view, or what have you. But at the same time, you also have to look at the fact that because our country has been so divided concerning all of these different things, that this race is really a neck and neck race. And when I say it is close, it is extremely close. And so coming into today, looking at polls and some things I looked at last week, which I will not say, but some things I looked at last week. The bottom line is that it can go either way for whoever it is that is going to win this election. Now, the way our election is supposed to go, so let me explain. The way that voting and the election is supposed to go is that we're supposed to vote on the first Tuesday of November, November the 5th. Here we're supposed to vote. And then after that, when all ballots have been counted, then the winner is supposed to be declared later in this evening or early in the morning. The next thing is that whoever the person is that did not win, they are to concede and respect what America has decided based on who has gotten the most votes. The following day, which is that Wednesday, is supposed to be an administrative day where they're just doing some of the back work of everything that has transpired the night before. That's the way things have gone, supposed to go. The way things have gone is that there has been discrepancies predicated on the fact of votes, how they've been tallied, things like that. I do believe at some point, sooner than later, that we're going to need to make sure that we have a plan for our country that with all the technology that we should have some level of technology that can give some accuracy to the 350 million Americans that we have, which 14% of the United States is Black America. And so we have to be able to have something that is going to give us some level of detail. Now, I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to ask my staff to put my first thing up. But I'm going to share with you a couple of websites, no videos today, but a couple of websites, and I want you to see kind of what is being stated and what is said. Pew Research Center. Now, what I've done is I have looked at what would be considered the most, some of the most ethical, um, um, I would say, websites and organizations that can give us more of an unbiased view of what is happening. And so we're going to look at a couple of things today, things that I want you to see that our next president, whoever that president is going to have to take a look at. I want you to look at this. It says, as concerns around the state of the economy and inflation continue, about 8 in 10 registered voters, 81%, say the economy will be very important to their vote in 2024's presidential election. So one of the main things that people are dealing with is their concern about the economy, where we are. Now, I'm going to address economy issues, issues, period, that are going to be faced. But then I'm going to also address some what I call hidden issues that does not necessarily make many of the major polls, but still they are there. The next thing that you have to look at, and that is that if you would scroll so that I can see more of this article. When you look at these issues, and just go ahead and scroll until I ask you to stop there, because I want everybody to stop right there. So I want everybody to see this. When you're looking at this, look at the Harris supporters versus Trump supporters, and kind of see where things are here when it comes to the Pew poll. And so let's look at what happens. So the when it comes to economy, you're seeing what's important to Harris voters, what versus what's important, more important to Trump voters, and then you're also looking at the fact of who is leading in those areas of influence. All right, so when you're talking about who's leading in those areas, Trump is leading in the area, according to the Pew poll. Trump is leading in the area of economy, where Harris is leading in the area of healthcare, where Harris is leading in the area of Supreme Court appointments, where Trump is leading in the area of foreign policy, where Trump is leading in the area of violent crimes, where Trump is leading in the area of immigration, where Harris is leading in the area of gun policy, where Harris is leading in the area of abortion, where Harris is leading in the area of racial and ethnic inequality, where Harris is leading in the area of climate change. So when it comes to the top things, and if you look at that, this is August the 27th, 26th. You can see that at the bottom through September the 2nd. This is when this poll was done. This is what they are, their supporters are doing, and how the country is divided when it comes to these areas. So out of, and I didn't count them, so let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So out of 10 things that are listed, 1, 2, 3, 4. Trump is leading in 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Want to make sure that I'm right. And Harris is leading in 6 of them. And so now we have to look at what is important when it comes to our country. Out of all of these that you're looking at right now, would you put online just one? If one was more important to you than anything else, don't give me verses 1, 2, and 3. If one of these was more important to you than anything else, would you put on in the chat and tell me which one of these would be more important? Would it be the economy? Would it be healthcare? Would it be Supreme Court appointments? Would it be foreign policy? Would it be violent crime, immigration, gun policy, abortion, racial and ethnic inequality? Or would it be climate change? Which one of these is more important? So healthcare is the first person that we have to put up there, that healthcare is, out of these 10, out of this list of 10, healthcare is more important. Let's start putting them up. Economy is more important here. Abortion is more important here. Let's look and let's see what we got. Economy is more important. Let's look. All right. And so we have racial and ethnic inequality. Let's see what's more important. Economy is more important. Foreign policy is more important. Economy is more important. Economy is more important. Patty Jones put number 1. Number 1 would be economy is important. Travis said economy is important. Erica said economy. All right. So economy is more important. All right. So here we have economy seems to be more important. Let's look. Economy is more important. Let's look. Economy is more important. Next is Supreme Court appointments. Um, Economy is more important. Let's take a look. All right. Because what we're looking at, and you all are just definitely, this is not something as big as the Pew polls and things like that. But what we're seeing, and go ahead and put them up as they're coming through. But what we're seeing, Dion says economy. What we're seeing is kind of like an idea of what America is looking at. All right. And then you can kind of see where then people are leaning in their thought, not necessarily leaning in their choice, but leaning in their thought. All right. And so when you're looking like that, when you're looking at things like that, economy, you keep seeing economy and border security is important to a great deal of people. So when we're looking at all of these things, we're seeing the fact of what really is important to America. All right. And so let me tell you, so just based on what was said, let's look at many things that may not be important. Just keep putting them up. Economy is important because our grocery cost is ridiculous. It really, really is. And I think that this latest strike that we experience those individuals that are on the coast, that are the shoremen that are pulling all of our products in, I think they showed the world, definitely the United States, how much power they really have and what is needed. All right. And so let's see what did not have as much influence. Violent crime did not have that much influence. Gun policy didn't have that much influence. Climate change didn't have that much influence. But I think the others, we had at least one or two people that were sharing. You can still put it up. We had one or two people that were sharing economy that at least gave, maybe some abortion, maybe racial inequality, foreign policy, things like that. But the strength of, I think everybody would say, the strength of what we have seen here in our chat is that what's more important to most people is the economy and where we're at. Okay. All right. So we'll just scroll down a little bit more and let me just take a look at what else we got here. And you can pull this up. It is the Pew poll that you can pull up. And let's take a look at this. And so now, when we're looking at this, we are seeing, it says a majorities of both Harris supporters, 71%, and Trump supporters, 69%, say at least 5 of 10 issues included in the survey are very important to their vote. Harris supporters are more likely than Trump supporters to say most of the issues included are very important. About a third of Harris supporters, 32%, say at least 8 of the 10 issues are very important, compared with 17% of Trump supporters saying that these things are very important. So when you see that, what you're seeing is 0 to 1, 2 to 4, 5 to 7, and 8 to 10, because we had 10 categories that was there. Could you scroll down just a little bit more? And let's see what we got here. All right. Let's look at this next. Let's stop right there. So let's look at this next, immigration. About 6 in 10 voters, 61% today, say immigration is very important to their vote, a 9 percentage point increase from the 2020 presidential election, and 13 points higher than during the 2022 congressional election. All right. So what we're experiencing right now is a lot of people concerned about immigration. That would include, of course, border control and things like that. Let's scroll down just a little bit more and let's see what we got here. Stop there. Abortion issues. In August 2020, fewer than half of voters, 40%, said abortion was a very important issue for their vote. At the time, Trump voters, 46% were more likely than Biden voters, 35%, to say it mattered a great deal. All right, so now let's scroll just a little bit more and let's look and see what we have. Because of course I'm going to say something in a minute that's just going to disrupt the apple cart in just a little bit. Scroll just a little bit more and stop. All right, pull back down just a bit. Let's get to the top of that. There we go. All right. So make good decisions about abortion policy. Harris then and this is the Pew poll. It shows who has more influence when it comes to that. All right. So abortion policy, Harris takes that. Effectively addressing issues about race, Harris takes that. Bring the country closer together, Harris takes that. Make good decisions about healthcare policy, Harris takes that. Select good nominees for Supreme Court. It is even neck and neck. Handle law enforcement and criminal justice issues. Trump takes that. Reduce the influence of money in politics. Trump takes that. Make good decisions about foreign policy. Trump takes that. Make wise decisions about immigration policy. Trump takes that. Would you scroll up just a bit? And we got one more here, and that is make good decisions about economic policy. And Trump takes that. So what we're looking at, look at when I say our country is like split straight down the middle, and some may not even believe what I'm getting ready to say, but literally, predicated on the weak can determine how people can shift and move. One thing can happen and it can really turn the dial. And so one of the things that we have to look at in this situation is the fact that you've got so many things that are here. Again, this is the Pew poll that is happening here. Would you please scroll up just a little bit more before we go to our next website and see all the things that are taking place. All right. And so what you have right now, go ahead and keep scrolling. Voters are more confident in Harris than they were in Biden in several issues. Stop right there. So let's pull down just a little bit. Good. There we are. All right. So when it comes to the confidence in Harris and versus Biden in these issues, make good decisions. Make good decisions about foreign policy. They have Biden at 39, but has Harris at 45. So that means that people are more confident in Harris in that regard. Select good nominee for Supreme Court. The view there was 47% look like Biden, 50% Harris. Make this good decision concerning the economy. Biden in this, it looks like 40%, and Harris looks like 45%. When it comes to make good decisions about abortion, Biden, they had it 48%, but Harris, they have it 55%. And then make good decisions about immigration. Biden at 35%, but Harris at 45%. And so when you're looking at this, you're looking at, and I'll scroll back to the top because some people want to know what I'm reading. This is the Pew poll. So scroll it back to the top so people can see what this is from. This is a Pew Research Center. So this is what I've taken is some polls that I felt were not leaning one way or the other. That's why I didn't want a poll from Fox or want a poll from CNN or something like that. I wanted more something that was independent so that we can get a perspective of what it looks like when it comes to um, as close as we can to what the country is looking at. We'll just scroll down just a little, and let's see what else we got down there. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything before I go to my next um, website. Okay, good. So I'm done. All right. So now let's look. You can take that down. So with that being said, what it does state is this. It does state that our country right now, when it comes to, and this is not the, I don't want to just view in the mindset of the Democrats. I would like to view in the mindset of the country. That when it comes to our country right now, it looks like that people, when it comes to, and I'm not talking about Harris versus Trump right now, what we read is Biden versus Harris when it comes to the policies, that people have more confidence in Harris and her policies than they did in Biden and his policies. Now, let me ask you this question. How many of you agree with that? How many of you don't agree with that? Again, this is the Pew Research poll, and I pulled it off, and I wanted to make sure that people could see it, because what I've noticed is that if then I just call it out, people are assuming that I'm just leaning one way or the other. And the things that I'm dealing with right now are statistics that I continue to read. So what I try to do at this point, as much as I can, is show you where I'm getting those statistics from, so that you'll understand it's not coming from me. It is actually coming from the polls that are out there right now. And so let's look and see how many of you all believe that the country is more confident in a Harris than they are in a Biden. And if so, if you could put in there, why? Why do you think? Dolores Whitworth said, I agree. Why do you think? Why do you think? If so, why? If so, why? She has no policies of her own. But if so, if there is still confidence, obviously through the polls, there is confidence that she's going to do a better job than Biden did. So why are some people having confidence that she will do a better job than Biden, in your opinion? Because right now, if you agree, now some people may say, I don't agree. She said it would be the same as Biden. And in some areas, she said it would be the same as Biden. And then in other areas, she came out and said, well, some things would be different. And so if she gets the chance to be president, then I guess we will see what that means. I've never heard any policies from Harris. Just if you vote for her, I want to. Why they would have any confidence in Harris is beyond my understanding. Just saying. Okay, so when we're looking at the fact of policies and different things like that, but there are people, the poll says it, there are people that are saying we have more confidence in her. Is it the fact that she's a woman? Is it the fact that she is, good evening, Dr. Williams, and all viewers, I'm working at a voting polls economy. Kamala said she wouldn't do anything differently. All right, so let's look at why, and I appreciate you all your buy-in, because I want to see why, because of his past record. I think that, and that's very, very possible, very possible. Biden was only elected so that Trump wouldn't get a second term. She can have plan, but if Congress doesn't back her up, it doesn't matter. Very true, because the power of our government is based on three bodies, and that is the White House, Congress, and Senate, and how things ultimately are done. Let's take a look, because right now, and it could be some folks have confidence in her only because she's a woman and they hate Trump. Very well could be. Very well could be. Let's look, because all of this is very important. Biden equals Harris. They are puppets and pushing an agenda. I don't want to go to war with either. All right. And what we're having right now, like I said, is an open discussion of people being able to give their opinion. I don't want people, and I'll put this in here, leave that up there. I don't want everybody, people to start getting mad at other people because they have their opinion. Please understand that every American has freedom of speech and they have the right to be able to express what their convictions is, just like you have the right to be able to express what your conviction is. Agree, she was effective on her previous job. She'll bring results. Okay, so let's look. Let's look at something else. I think so. Reason Harris has a much better persuasive speech than Biden. She is also a quick thinker. All right. So would it then be predicated on the fact of her age? The age difference between Biden and Harris, of why you have some people that are more confident. I think so because of the age gap. Exactly. There are a lot of people that are looking at the fact that because she's younger, and where Biden has experience, at the same time, there are some cognitive concerns that are there, which is the reason why I believe that they pulled him out of the way and then pushed Harris because of those things. And I don't think Biden wanted to. I think that everybody would agree with the fact that Biden really did not want to step down, but I think that he was influenced that it was best that he does because it was best for the party. All right. So let's look. I'm going to put up one more thing here. And then I agree wholeheartedly as she is more confident in herself in bringing forth her intentions. More specifically, she is more pulled together than Biden seems to be. All right. This is, and what I'm looking at here as I look through here is age gaps and just a lot of the things. Pull up this last one with Alexis right here. Based on the data, I agree that the country has more confidence in Harris as president. Looking at some of the policies she relates to women's rights, I would say equality, and she has experience with foreign policy or foreign affairs. Okay, so now let's look at this, because pull up the next website that I have up there, because I want you all to see this, because all of this is what the next president is going to have to deal with. Whoever the next president is, these are the things that they're going to have to deal with and contend with when it comes to all of these things. Economy, most important issue in 2024 presidential election. Stop. This is from the Gallup poll. This is from the Gallup poll. Would you scroll that back down just so that people can see at the top of it what that is? This is the Gallup poll. All right. So now let's scroll. Now let's scroll back down and let's look, because I want you to see kind of what these polls are saying and what they're bringing. Stop right there. All right. So Republican voters rate economy, immigration as most important issues. Democracy, potential Supreme Court justice picks top Democrat votes issues. Trump favored over Harris by 9 points to handle the economy. All right. And I really don't think there's much argument with that concerning the polls. Would you go ahead and let's well, you know what? Let's start right here. Washington, D.C., the economy ranks as the most important in 22 issues that the United States registered voters say will influence their choice for president. All right. It is the only issue on which a majority of voters, 52%, say the candidate's position on it are an extremely important, watch this, influence on their vote. Another 38% of voters rate the economy as very important, which means the issue could be a significant factor, watch this, to 9 in 10 voters. I 1000% agree. I 1000% agree. The Gallup polls is something that everybody, I think, or a great deal of people, I don't even say everybody, a great deal of people would have comfort in knowing what the Gallup polls are saying. All right. So would you keep scrolling down? So let's look at some more things that is going to come out in this article. All right. Importance of economy, highest since the Great Recession. All right. This is amazing. The importance of economy highest since the Great Recession. Wow. The current 52% of voters rating the economy as an extremely important influence on their vote for president is the highest since October 2008 during the Great Recession, when 55% of voters said the same. In polls conducted closest to the election in other presidential elections, election years since 1996, between 38% and 44% of voters rated candidates' position on the economy as extremely important to their vote. All right. Anyone that understands about economy, let me explain to you about economy and morality. When it comes to economy and morality, when the country is very rich and everybody's doing well, they vote based on their morals. When everybody is struggling on their in their finances, they they start voting economy, and morals becomes their second issue. So you have to look at the fact of what really people are voting on now. Would you go ahead and scroll down some more? Because I told you in just a minute, I'm going to update the apple cart in just a second. Stop right there. All right, voters' ratings of economy as extremely important to presidential votes 1996 to 2024. Look at how it has moved. It was highest in 2008 during the time of Obama administration. And when Obama came in office, it was really a concern about economy. It went down, and then now economy again is high and very concerning. Now, I would like for you to look at the highs and the lows. All right. So if you're looking at the highs and the lows, what you're looking at when you look at the bottom from 1996 to 2024, you also have to consider who was president at that time, who was in power at that time, Democrats or Republicans. And that will show you then the momentum, the mood that is in the United States presently right now. Presently right now. So here's the deal. The deal is that during the time that Obama was going into office, when he was his desire was to be president, things like that. All right. So when you went through all of those changes, challenges, and things like that, you looked at the fact that the country looked at Obama as being able to handle the economy more so than anyone else, because economy was a very high issue. That was the time of the Great Recession. All right. Then in turn, Obama was in office for 8 years. We've got 2016. When 2016 came in, now the economy was a what? 42% concern in the United States. And 2020, it was a 44% concern in the United States, not very high. But now look at it, 2024. Economy is extremely high when it comes to the concerns of the United States. Extremely high. This is a Gallup poll. Let's go ahead and scroll down just a little bit more. I hope I'm making good sense to everybody, because I'm going to talk to you. This when I said I'm going to upset the apple cart, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to upset the apple cart with. Go ahead and keep scrolling. I'm going to tell you what I'm upset the apple cart with, because I'm going to talk to you about electoral college. Scroll just a little bit more and then stop. There we are, right there. Just come down just a little bit, a tad. There you go. Economy. All right. So look at it. The dark green is extremely important. Then lighter green, very important, somewhat important, not important at all. Economy is dark green, very important. Democracy in the United States, dark green, very important. See, take a look at this, guys. You're looking at all the things that are very important. Terrorism and national security, very important. Type Supreme Court justice candidates would pick, very important. Immigration, very important. Education, not as important, but still very important. Healthcare, very important. Gun policy, I'm going to say all of those are not very important. They're important, because you could see the economy is very important. So when it comes to education, important. Healthcare, important. Gun policy, important. Abortion, important. Taxes, important. Crime, not as important. distribution of income and wealth in the United States, not as important. Federal budget deficit, not as important. Foreign affairs, not as important. A situation in the Middle East between Israel and Palestine, not as important. Take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. Scroll just a little bit more. This is amazing. Stop right there. And let's look. Let's see what we got, because they're going on what's less important. All right. Federal budget deficit, less important. Foreign affairs, less important. Situation in the Middle East, less important. Energy policy, less important. Relations with Russia, less important. Race relations, less important. Relations with China, even less important. Trade with other countries, even less important. Climate change, even less important. Transgender rights is the least important when it comes to the Gallup poll. Scroll just a little bit more. What I'm doing right now is giving you these polls because this is where the United States is. This is where we are. Scroll just a little bit more. Scroll down just a little bit more and stop right there, please. Republican leaning independent voters. Look at the numbers. Democratic leaning independent voters. Look at the numbers. Independent voters for Republican are leaning towards economy, immigration, terrorism, of national security, crime, and taxes. Leaning Democratic and independent voters are leaning towards democracy in the United States. Types of Supreme Court justice candidates would pick abortion, healthcare, and education. Look at the leaning undecided voters in both parties. This is amazing. Scroll down just a little bit more. Let's see what we got there. Because I want to bring it all to you so that you kind of look at it. Let's stop right there, please. Importance of issues to registered voters by policy, by political party. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. What parties are viewing things as more important? I got some statements that are coming up. Please put them up while I got this here. If Kamala Harris is elected as president, she will be the first president in history that has been a part of all three branches of government. Impressive. Next, let's look. A lot of people lost jobs during the pandemic. Who was responsible for not having a pandemic plan because Obama left one? Let's see. Next. For many people, I know the greatest and most immediate concern was preserving democracy. And while the executive branch can not change the Constitution alone, the judiciary is being influenced by the president, and I don't believe our leader should be a voice against democratic principles. Let's look. Now, with everything that was said, it looks like that there are a great many people that are concerned about the character of Donald Trump. And so, and the character dealing with control, policy. I hear he wants to be a king, a dictator, this, that, and the other. If he lets a war come through, the United States, like he let COVID, it will be easy for him to be a dictator. I don't know it's going to be easier for him to be a dictator only because of Congress and Senate. But I will say that some time ago, I asked everyone to make sure that you look at a movie. Scroll just a little bit more to look at a movie. I'll scroll down so I can see just a bit more. To look at a movie called Civil War. And if you haven't looked at that movie called Civil War, you need to look at that movie, because that really says a lot concerning the possibility of a lot of things concerning the United States. Now, take that down And let me share something with you. Our government, our government, just so that we're clear, the Electoral College is not just something that is just made up. It's actually one of the last things that was addressed in our Constitution. And a lot of people may not realize that. Electoral College is one of the last things that was addressed concerning our Constitution. And when I tell you it was interesting, one of the founding fathers, James Wilson, let me read this. And this is concerning the Electoral College and addressing things about voting for presidents. He says, and I quote, "This subject has greatly divided the House and will also divide people out of doors. It is in truth the most difficult of all on which we have had to decide." Now, this is our founding father, one of our founding fathers, James Wilson, who made the statement that when it comes to the voting system, out of everything in the Constitution, this part was the most difficult. Now, with that being said, the question is, what then did they decide? The Constitution, the way the Constitution is read, make sure that we're clear. The way the Constitution is read, our founding fathers wanted to make sure that no one could win the presidency off of a popular vote. That's why we have the Electoral College. Because the founding fathers wanted to make sure that no one can win based on the popular vote. So the amount of votes in that Electoral College, the amount of votes, so you have people in the Electoral College that represent all 50 states. And the amount of power that you have is predicated on how many people live in your state. This is why California has 53 versus I think North Carolina may have 14 or something like that. I got to look and see. Because I want to make sure I got this right. 16. North Carolina has 16. All right. And so so let me divide it for you in just some areas where you have Nevada has 6 and Utah has 6 and Colorado has 10. You have then Texas who has 40, California who has 54. You have North Carolina who has 16, Virginia who has 13, South Carolina who has 9, Georgia who has 16, Florida who has 30. And so it is all then, it is all building up to whoever gets 270 votes actually wins. Whoever gets 270 votes actually wins. Now there are 538 votes that the Electoral College can put together, predicated on them representing their state. Now, very recently, and I want to call the name of the organization so that I can make sure that I get it right. But there was agreement among the states to elect the president by national popular vote. There was something that went out, but all the states would not adopt it. Let me tell you what it was. What it was that they were trying to change the Constitution. This is, I think, majority Democrats. They were trying to change the Constitution to that whoever won the popular vote would win. Well, let me show you what that would look like. Whoever won the popular vote. So that means that when Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton was going when they were debating each other and the race was between the two of them, Hillary Clinton got the popular vote, so she would have been president. But turn it around, that when Biden and Trump were going neck and neck, Trump then had the popular vote, so Biden wouldn't have been president. So you have 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. And so I don't know, because you're going to have a lot to change the Constitution. And that's going to be extremely difficult because it's not just something that you can just shift. I have a major concern about that, though. I'm going to tell you why. I really don't want anybody touching the Constitution, because the moment that you touch the Constitution, it opens up Pandora's box to start digging in the Constitution and messing with everything in the Constitution. And at that point, we're in trouble. At that point, we're in trouble. Do not mess with the Constitution. Leave it alone. Can there be amendments? Yes. Does it need to be some explanation? Yes. And this is why there is a whole legal system called constitutional law. A whole legal system called constitutional law. But you have to be able to understand the value and the importance of Constitution. All right. Let's look at the next website that I have to pull up. One of the things that we have to look at is the fact, look at this, the most important issues to battleground state voters. All right. I'm going to show you all, but let's look at this. These are the issues that are most important to battleground states. And we're going to talk about who the battleground states are. All right. The economy and stock market, jobs, things like that, abortion, immigration, the state of democracy and corruption, character, competence of candidate, dislike of opposing candidate, inflation and cost of living, foreign policy. All of these are important. Watch this, in the battleground states. Now, why is the battleground state so important? Because what they're stating now is the battleground states are going to decide who wins this election. Scroll down, let's look at the battleground states. And I want y'all to see who the battleground states are. Now, this is pull this, go it back up. That is the slide. I want the website. That's the slide of it, but I want the website. So pull that down and pull it down some more. Because let's look at that website, because I want y'all to see who the battleground states are. If they can't get it up, then I'll pull it up on my phone. But North Carolina is one of the battleground states. And this is why it is very important. So let's take a look at this. The battleground states. So this, as the election day is underway and Americans are picking their next president, the one thing that's already clear is that the election will be decided in just a few battleground states, namely, watch, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. These are the battleground states. These are the battleground states. And this, I pulled this up because this is, look at the date, November the 5th. This came out today. They said these are the states that will decide the next presidency. And North Carolina, we are one of them, with 16 electoral votes. With 16 electoral votes. And this is why Harris and Trump have been in North Carolina a lot. Because We have to look at the fact that we are one of the battleground states. Those that do not mind, if you mind, do not put it up. And in fact, I ain't gonna even put you out there like that. Nope, I ain't gonna do it. Nope, 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 not gonna do it. So here's the deal. I will do this. I want you to put online right now, based on the knowledge that you have heard today, based on the information that you have seen on whatever news outlet that you've been looking at, and whatever Associated Press journals or articles you've been looking at, I want you to put right now online, who do you think is going to be our next president? Here we go. Who do you think is that going to be our next president? This is going to be interesting. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. Yes, they're still coming in. They're still coming in. Take a look. They're still coming in. I see my sister Robin's comment. They're still coming in. Guys, this is close. This is real, real, real close. And by the way that you're answering, it only tells me one thing. We're closer than we think. All right, guys. I'm gonna let you go right now. I love all of you. Thank God for you. Just wanted to share with you as much as I could. And let's rock. All right. We'll see tonight. And I may even be putting some things on social media. So make sure that you follow us. I love all of you. Have a wonderful evening and stay blessed. All right. Take care.